So good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to our bi-weekly Eastside Regional Action Plan meeting, where we discuss the impact of homelessness on the east side of Santa Barbara. I'm Landon Rank, the Associate Director with SB ACT, and I'm joined from the City of Santa Barbara by Barbara Anderson, Assistant to the City Administrator, as well as
Good evening, everyone.
other city staff who will chime in later. So just a couple of general announcements as we get started. For schedule, I think most of you were on the email threads, but I just wanted to remind everybody that our next neighborhood walk will be on the east side, and that will be this Monday at 1 p.m. We're going to meet over at the corner of Milpas and Calle Puerto Vallarta. So essentially at the Rainbow Statue Park, but on the far corner near the baseball diamond. So I hope some of you can join us then. We'll be walking around to talk to business owners, let them know about different homelessness resources, and then also just to get eyes on the neighborhood and talk to some of the individuals who might be experiencing homelessness around that area.
Unless something comes up, we have the mayor, police chief, and new city administrator that will be joining us for that walk on Monday afternoon.
Great. And if you're coming, wear sunscreen. And then our next Eastside Wrap meeting will be on Friday, the 12th of July. So the big exciting news this week, I think many of you know, is that the Faro Center is officially open. This is the new daytime navigation center in downtown Santa Barbara. This is a partnership with the City of Santa Barbara, SB ACT. The Continuum of Care is contributing some funds to this, as well as the Women's Fund. And so this is going to be, it is now, it's open 10 to 2, Monday through Friday. And it's just a place for people to go during the day, but also primarily it's a place for people to get access to housing navigation, case management, workforce development, healthcare, behavioral health resources, and more. So we don't have the official like little plastic cards because we are working to expand the hours hopefully in the next month. Once we do expand the hours, we will officially print the cards and then we'll give them en masse to you all so that we can start handing them out to people experiencing homelessness. We really want to get the word out. In the meantime, though, we do have some flyers that I'm happy to share via email, or I can print some out and bring them to anyone who's interested. I'll put my email in the chat window. But it's been fun. It's been cool to see. There's been it's been a slower trickle this first week, but on the first day we had 32 people. We've had public health here, CityNet, Good Samaritan, Shannon, who's on the call, was there from YMCA, and yeah, a lot of people connecting to a lot of different services. And then the other kind of happy news was that we hear that individuals are moving into the second half of La Posada, which is focused on the behavioral health beds. So these are individuals with high acuity behavioral health needs that are working with the Department of Behavioral Wellness. And so they had been waiting on some contracts to get finalized, and now that's done. And I know at least some individuals have moved in. I don't know if anyone on the call is able to share how many, but yeah, we're just excited to see that support being offered. All right, so with that, we'll turn it to our community members. This is the part in the call where we open it up for community members to share any questions or concerns related to the impact of homelessness. So I'll go ahead and open it up.
Good morning.
Morning, Jesse.
My quick question for you and for Barbara, just real quick, is there an ordinance that we have for excessive panhandling and loitering?
Panhandling is actually protected under freedom of speech. So we don't have an ordinance in place for excessive panhandling. There are some ordinances in place for loitering and trespassing. But Jesse, happy to connect with you offline to hear from you what you're observing and see if we can try to engage with individuals to provide support to them.
Okay, because I had an incident yesterday morning, which I had to notify the police department. So, but yeah, we can discuss this offline.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you for bringing it to our attention for sure.
All right, thank you.
See a note from Rich Block in the chat. Thanks to all for the focus on Dwight Murphy. I think we'll get to that in the updates in a few minutes as well.
Good morning. Hi, yeah, I just want to mention that we've seen another uptick on Cacique with the drug activity. I know I worked with Sergeant Beltran and notified him, and so also this morning there was someone that came on the property that was, I don't know if they were picking up used needles or something, and I had to shoo them off the property. So appreciate the ongoing support.
Thank you, Susie. I don't know if we'll probably get to it in the updates, but I don't know if there's anything else to share on Cacique at the moment. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the call related to that. We typically have our quarterly presentation from Path on these Eastside Wrap calls, and it was supposed to happen at our last Eastside Wrap, but I got my schedules confused, and so I'm working with Liz to reschedule it, Liz Adams from Path. So it'll likely be in the next Eastside Wrap meeting or the one after that. But in the meantime, Liz did send me the slides that we sent out with the Eastside Wrap reminder. So please take a look at those, but that will be what Liz and JV are presenting on. Any other questions or concerns? All right, so let's do some check-ins from our outreach providers, and maybe we can chat about Dwight Murphy and Cacique as a part of that. So let's start with seeing, well, yeah, I guess let's start with our Path team.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry for a groggy sound. So we had high hopes for an outreach coordinator or outreach case manager, and we just didn't hear from her. She was would have been a good fit, but we have quite about 4 interviews lined up for next week. Potential good candidates that seems to also come from the network. And other providers. So hopeful that we will get that sorted soon. So that's all I want to update at this point. And the Faro Center, yeah, very inspiring. And we will have flyers here at Path too, and encouraging guests, maybe even take people with our van. Yeah, that's the plan.
Herschel, if you transport individuals over to the center that want to go there, are you able to bring them back to Path
Yes.
as well? Great.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you, Herschel, and thanks for helping us get the word out as well. Yeah, we can't wait. The new outreach provider. Hopefully that hiring process goes smoothly or smoother. Why don't we go to Andrew with City Code Enforcement?
Yeah, thanks, Landon. From our end, it's a lot of, kind of the similar things. We have been paying the same attention to Dwight Murphy Field area and Sycamore Creek in particular. Still have some individuals that we deal with on a pretty repetitive basis, but in terms of their impacts on the zoo and that particular corner of the parking lot, that is actually sort of they've more or less gotten the message that that's not an ideal spot for them right there. But beyond that, another area of concern has definitely been the De La Guerra and Quarantina corner, some of the vehicular homelessness that we're dealing with there. We have been addressing that with litter cleanups on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that basically canvass that whole area around the high school and the middle school, and have really been working those blocks hard to keep up appearances and whatnot while we wait for some, vehicular homelessness response in that New Beginnings project. We also put some signs in the area too that strongly encouraged, anyone in the area to put their trash in the receptacles, to not illegally dump, and just be a good neighbor to the community there. So taking some steps while we wait for you know, everything to sort of come together in a stronger response. So yeah, otherwise, again, we continue to patrol Cacique and you know, work with the CAT team to stay on top of those encampments as they pop up. They can be rather quick, and I know the activity does sometimes spike over the weekends, but we're doing our best to have those postings on there as fast as possible and get a good response going. So
Thank you, Andrew. That's a good segue to Sergeant Beltran with the CAT team.
Thanks, Landon. Can you guys hear me? Perfect. Not a whole lot to update other than what Andrew just said. One small update to at least our team on the CAT team is that we just had interviews and made a selection for a new officer to join our team. We lost Officer Duffy to a different position about a month ago, so now we're going to replace him with someone else, but their effective date of transfer is to be determined. It's based on staffing, so it'll probably be about another month or two before that person starts off with us, but it'll give us additional resources, and we're excited to get him. And otherwise, it's just been a busy couple of weeks. We've been getting pulled in a lot of different directions, haven't been able to focus as much on our normal spots, but I think things are going to slow down. We'll be able to focus on our normal rounds, a lot of the same areas that Andrew just covered. So other than that, I don't think there's much to update on.
And I assume 4th of July is a big week for you all as well.
Yeah, that's it's a big week, but really it's just the 4th. I mean, leading up to it, they'll be a little bit busy during the nighttime. I think a lot of the fireworks stuff going on leading up to it, but overall, I think just the day of the 4th will probably be pretty busy, and then obviously the weekend because it'll be a long weekend.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, that's about it.
And then let's go to Shannon with YMCA, Youth and Family Services.
Good morning, everyone. Our big news is that we have a vehicle now. We have an SUV, so we're able to transport people for critical appointments. We did our inaugural trip yesterday to take someone to the DMV to get an ID, and so he was able to open a bank account. But we've had some good housing successes in the past 2 weeks too. We entered 2 people into transition living, one in our transition living and one in YHDB transition living. We had another individual sign a lease at Buena Tierra on Monday. We have 2 people signing leases today, and we had a former foster youth issued an FYI voucher yesterday, so she's going to start her housing search. And that's it.
That's great. That's a great resource, Shannon.
Oh, and we were at the navigation center on Wednesday. I was.
Yes.
Our first day there. Yeah.
Any other updates from the city? I don't know, Barbara, if you have anything you wanted to share.
I just wanted to remind folks that, we did include in CityNet's contract for this year, prioritization for the Lower East Side on the Thursday through Sunday team. So it's a lot of area to cover, but if there's something that comes up over the weekend days, please feel free to reach out to me and I can notify the team to be there at a certain day or time, or engage with a certain individual over that period of time as well. Many of you may have heard the Supreme Court issued their decision this morning in regards to Oregon, Grant Pass, Oregon, excuse me. We've been working as an internal team across several departments for the last number of months, just about refining our encampment policy in general. So we are going to be working moving forward to make any adaptations that we need to make to align with that ruling moving forward, but we'll keep people informed along that way.
Thank you, Barbara. I will just make our regular plug for the SB Connect app, mainly for the people who might watch the recording later on YouTube, because I think everyone on this call is already well aware, but this is a good place to report any issues that you see. If you see an encampment, if you see a potential fire hazard, this is a kind of a one-stop shop. But if you're looking for other more specific phone numbers and resources for homelessness, we encourage you to check out sbac.org/RAPS to find our full homelessness resource directory.
Hey, Landon, this is Liz.
Liz.
Just wanted to update everybody. New Beginnings is doing their site visits this morning throughout the whole South Coast. They're starting in Goleta and making all the way to Carpinteria. I'm going to join them for the Santa Barbara portion of it, but we're trying to keep the sites confidential, as I've mentioned before, so we don't have mass people relocating to those sites. But I can tell you that some of the spots that have been identified as highly impacted areas are included in this project. And New Beginnings is still in their hiring blitz, and they've made some good hires already. So they've got a few people on board already. So we're making progress.
Do you have a sense of the timeline of when outreach will start, or is it with this new project, or is it kind of just ongoing as they're hiring?
I believe it is once the first phase is to do the surveying of the site and see who is there and get a better handle. They are going at different times of the day because, you know, the people come and go to work and stuff. But I believe it is an ongoing process, but sorry, not an ongoing process. It will be a quick process within the next month or so.
Great, thanks, Liz. All right, any other updates or announcements to share or questions from the community while we're all together? Seeing none. I think I keep forgetting to bring this up, but I think we do want to discuss potentially finding a new time for this meeting if we feel that would be helpful for community members to be able to attend. The other RAP meeting that we have for the downtown region is late afternoons once a week. And then with our Goleta RAP meeting, we meet at noon for the purpose of trying to include community members. So I don't know, community members, if you have any thoughts about what would be a more inclusive time, if there is one, but I'd be open to have that conversation right now.
Landon, I appreciate you bringing that up too, because our CAT team representatives, this is their day off, some of them.
Oh,
So yeah, Nate and Charlie usually join us on their day off to make sure that there's presence here, but it would be great if it wasn't on a Friday.
Susie, you're muted. I don't know if you were trying to speak to us. I can also, maybe I'll send out a poll to everyone who's on our Eastside RAP working group list and see what we find out. But I do see a couple comments in the chat, so thank you all. All right, so we'll go ahead and end the meeting for community members, and we'll have service providers stay on. So thank you all for being here today, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.